It wasn't the sound of shattering glass that stunned me. It was the terrifying silence that followed. The silence of a 76-year-old man realizing he's become a prisoner, in his kitchen. Held captive by the very legs that once carried me across the world. Legs that are now weak, with ankles that swell up every afternoon, and knees that click and pop like a forgotten old door. They call it old age. But no one tells you what old age truly feels like. It's more than just the joint pain or the morning joint stiffness. It's the ache in your heart when you have to say no to your grandson's invitation for a walk in the park. It's the fear that grips you with every step down the stairs. It's that guilty feeling when you think that one day you might become a burden. I realized a silent thief had crept into my life. He didn't steal money or valuables. He didn't steal collagen directly, but he made my body forget how to build it. He siphoned away the very glue holding my body together, leaving behind a loose, painful, and fragile frame. He stole my freedom. Is there anyone watching who has ever felt that same, familiar sense of helplessness? That feeling that your own body no longer follows your commands? If you have, let me know by leaving a short comment. Just the words, "I understand." So I know. I'm not alone on this journey. But in that moment, looking down at the mess, a fire was lit inside me. That thief could take my collagen, but he could not take the will of an old history teacher. I decided I would fight back. And my weapons were right here in this kitchen. My journey to reclaim my legs didn't begin at the pharmacy, but at farmers markets and old-fashioned butcher shops, places filled with wisdom about senior health that has been long forgotten. That journey led me to 8 incredible allies. And it also exposed a shocking truth about one food. A food that for the last 30 years, doctors told us to throw away, believing it was toxic. But as it turns out, it might just be the single fastest key to increase collagen and rebuild your strength from the inside out. Join me for the next 30 minutes. I won't just give you a list. I will tell you the story of how I defeated the silent thief. And just maybe, it will become your story, too. As a history teacher, I know that history has a strange habit, it often repeats itself. But I never imagined that the greatest history lesson of my life, I would find it in my kitchen's trash can. My journey didn't start with complex medical books. It began with a simple question: what did our ancestors eat to live and work into old age without medicine? The answer led me to my first 2 allies. 2 friends that I, and perhaps our entire generation, had unintentionally banished for years. My first ally, I call it my mother's golden heart. The egg yolk. My mother was a woman who couldn't read books but could read the earth in every blade of grass, every grain of rice. She always told me, "Son, when you eat an egg, never throw away the most precious part." She called the yolk the heart of the egg. But then we grew up, we read the news, we watched TV. They told us cholesterol was a killer. And so, we began to fear that heart. For 40 years, I ate eggs like a criminal. Meticulously separating the whites and tossing the yolk without a second thought. I thought I was being scientific, protecting my heart. It turns out, I was single-handedly destroying the very foundation of my body's house. It wasn't until I read the studies myself. A eureka moment at the age of 76. It finally dawned on me. The egg yolk contains 2 amino acids that our bodies crave like a desert craves rain, glycine and proline. Imagine collagen is a strong rope, glycine and proline are the golden threads that braid that rope together. Without them, the rope frays and snaps. That day, I cooked myself 2 fried eggs, with the yolks gloriously intact. When I tasted them, I didn't just taste the richness. I felt a belated apology to my mother. I understood that sometimes, ancestral wisdom is far ahead of modern science. If the egg yolk was a lesson in humility, my second ally taught me a lesson about waste. It's something most of us instinctively peel off: chicken skin. I vividly remember the smell of my grandmother's roast chicken every Sunday. The best, most delicious part was always that crispy, golden skin. But just like the egg yolk, we were taught that chicken skin was bad fat, something unhealthy. We stripped it off as if we were removing a sin. And once again, history gave me a slap of awakening. That skin, that crispy, savory delight, is one of the richest natural sources of type 1 collagen. That is the exact type of collagen that builds the framework for our skin, tendons, and connective tissues. Throwing away chicken skin is like manually dismantling the support frame of your house. Now, I no longer strip it away. I learned to roast it at a moderate temperature, so the skin turns crispy without creating harmful compounds. Every time I hear the sizzle of chicken skin in the oven, I smile. That isn't the sound of fat. It's the sound of my knees healing. I want to ask you something from the heart. Does this story about egg yolks and chicken skin sound familiar to you? Have you, like me, thrown them away out of fear? If you have, please help me by typing the number 1 into the comments section below. If you're still skeptical and feel they are unhealthy, please type the number 2. There are no right or wrong answers. I truly just want to listen and understand the thoughts of our generation. To find my next 2 allies, I realized I had to do something even harder than reading dense medical journals. I had to defeat the most stubborn and relentless enemy I've ever known, myself. These next 2 allies didn't greet me with open arms. One challenged my nose, and the other challenged my very idea of what food should feel like. This was my battle against the stubbornness of old age. The first challenger lay quietly in a small tin can. Sardines. I must confess, I hated sardines. I hated the smell. It reminded me of difficult times, of makeshift meals. To me, it was the smell of scarcity. Every time my wife opened a can, I'd make an excuse to go work in the garden. But then, on my quest to save my legs, I kept reading about them. These tiny fish were heroes for the vascular system, especially to improve circulation in the legs. That feeling of tingling in the legs and feet that I often felt at night. It was the cry for help from blood vessels that were losing their elasticity. So, I decided to face it. I opened the can. The familiar smell hit me. But this time, instead of running, I tried a little trick I'd read about. I squeezed in the juice of half a lemon and a bit of olive oil. And then, a small miracle happened. The pungent smell vanished, leaving only the rich taste of the sea. As I ate that first bite, I understood. The problem wasn't the fish. The problem was my prejudice. These little fish are packed with type 3 collagen, the kind that specializes in maintaining the body's entire plumbing system. Eating them is like sending a professional repair crew to make the pipes leading to your legs flexible and clear again. The tingling began to fade. My legs felt lighter at the end of the day. And it all started because I dared to try something I once hated. If sardines taught me to overcome prejudice, the next ally taught me that real treasure is sometimes hidden in the most unlikely of places. I'm talking about bone marrow. At first, I found it strange. This soft, gelatinous fat is inside the core of a bone. It was unlike anything I'd ever eaten. But the butcher, an old friend of mine, said, "Harold, this is the real gold. Back in the day, we saved this stuff for the sick and the young children." And he was right. When I tasted my first bite of roasted marrow on a piece of crusty bread, I was stunned. It was rich, savory, and it melted in my mouth. But the magic wasn't just in the taste. I felt a warmth spread from my stomach down to my dry, aching knees. That feeling wasn't my imagination. Bone marrow contains a compound called hyaluronic acid. Imagine it as the most premium lubricant for your joints. For years, my knees and hips had been creaking like a rusty door hinge. That bite of marrow. It was as if I had finally given that hinge the drop of oil it had been begging for 20 years. It is one of the best foods for arthritis, helping to soothe those persistent joint pains. I call it the forgotten feast of kings. It doesn't just nourish the body, it nourishes the soul of a man who had almost given up hope of walking freely again. Now it's your turn to be honest with me. Between these two allies, which one feels more like a challenge to you? If it's the sardines because of the smell, please help me by commenting with the number 3. If it's the bone marrow because of its unique texture, please comment with the number 4. There's no judgment here. Only curiosity and understanding. Because every healing journey begins with one step outside of our comfort zone, doesn't it? We've walked half of this journey together now. 4 allies have been revealed. And looking back, I've realized something more important than anything else. The biggest change for me wasn't on my dinner plate. It was right here. It's the feeling of waking up in the morning and putting your feet on the floor without fearing that familiar joint pain. It's the joy of being able to bend down and play with your grandchild without needing help to get back up. Every bite of egg yolk I ate wasn't just me getting collagen, it was me telling myself, you were right to trust that old wisdom. Every piece of chicken skin I enjoyed was me mending the wastefulness of my past. Every sardine, every spoonful of marrow, was a declaration that I am no longer a victim of my age. I am the architect of my health in my senior years. That is the true healing. It begins in the mind, and then it flows into the body. I just want to ask you one thing, and please, answer with your heart. Listening to my story so far, do you feel any spark of hope for yourself? If you do, even the smallest glimmer, please help me by commenting with the number 5 below. The number 5, like an open hand, is ready to receive the good things that are coming. Every number 5 from you will be a tremendous source of encouragement, letting me know that my story is truly reaching someone. Thank you. And now, prepare yourself. If the first 4 allies taught me how to rebuild the foundation, the next 4 will teach me how to build a fortress. We are about to meet the silent heroes, things with incredible power hidden in a simple appearance. And of course, we are getting very close to the misunderstood villain of our story, food number 2. When I reveal what it is, you might be shocked. But I promise you, behind that surprise lies a liberation for your legs and your knees. Please, continue this walk with me. If youth is a loud tropical storm, then old age is like a quiet, underground river. Its power isn't on the surface, it lies in the silent, steady nourishment from within. The next 3 allies I'm about to introduce are just like that. They aren't flashy or expensive, but their healing power is extraordinary. They are the silent heroes of my kitchen. The first hero has the color of the sun and the sweet taste of a summer morning. Papaya. I've eaten papaya my whole life, but I only ever saw it as a sweet dessert. I had no idea that hidden behind that sweetness was a secret weapon to help my body regenerate collagen far more effectively. A friend of mine from Asia pointed this out to me. He called papaya the path opener. And that is the perfect name. Because papaya contains a miraculous enzyme called papain. As we get older, our digestive system weakens. We can eat plenty of collagen-rich foods, but our bodies struggle to absorb them. This papain enzyme acts like a diligent gatekeeper. It breaks down stubborn proteins and throws the gates wide open, allowing the collagen-building nutrients to flood into the body. It helps all the other allies I've mentioned to work at their full potential. The secret is to eat it on an empty stomach, preferably in the morning. That fresh, light feeling when you start your day with papaya. It's not just good for the stomach, it's good for the soul. It's like you're telling your body, hey, I'm getting you ready to receive the best things today. The second silent hero is even more humble. It's almost invisible. Gelatin. Most of us hear the word gelatin and immediately think of those sweet, colorful jelly desserts from our childhood. But I'm talking about pure, unflavored gelatin. I call it the invisible brick, because its power lies in how it silently weaves its way into every corner of the body to repair and rebuild. Gelatin is essentially cooked collagen. This makes it incredibly easy to absorb, even for those with sensitive digestive systems. Every morning, I stir a small spoonful into my warm tea. It dissolves without a trace, leaving no taste, but I know that I've just given my body a precious dose of medicine for my bone and joint health. After just a few weeks, I felt a clear difference. My skin was less dry. The muscles in my calves felt firmer. And most importantly, that feeling of morning joint stiffness had noticeably decreased. It's like you're providing your body's construction crew with a rich, steady supply of bricks, glycine and proline every single day. A small act, a simple habit, but one that creates a massive change. These two silent heroes, papaya and gelatin, are both easy to find and easy to use, aren't they? I'd like to know, after hearing my story, which hero do you feel inspired to try first? If you want to try the sweet taste of the path opener, papaya, please comment with the number 6. If you want to try the invisible power of the brick, gelatin, please comment with the number 7. Choose one and start with the smallest step because every great fortress was built from simple bricks just like these. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now attend a trial together. A trial that has been forgotten for over 50 years. In the defendant's chair sits a food that our generation has convicted as toxic, dangerous, and sentenced to permanent exile from the plates of health-conscious people. That verdict was passed without a single word of defense. And today, as a witness who has found the truth, I am here to reopen this case. To clear the name of that villain. That defendant is liver. I know what you're thinking. Liver. The organ that stores toxins. The food that spikes cholesterol. I, Harold Bennett, was once one of its harshest accusers. I listened to every warning. I avoided it like the plague. Every time I saw it at the butcher's counter, I would shudder. I believed I was doing the right thing for my heart and my body. But I was wrong. Disastrously wrong. On my journey to heal my legs, I kept finding clues that led back to it. And then one day, I found the answer. A truth so simple it made me laugh at my naivety for all those years. Imagine this, your body has a collagen factory. All the allies I've mentioned before, the egg yolks, the gelatin, the marrow, they provide the factory with excellent bricks, amino acids. But a factory, no matter how many bricks it has, cannot run without its management team. And liver is where that entire elite board of directors resides. It contains vitamin A, the chief architect, who gives the building orders. It contains copper, the engineering team that assembles the collagen fibers. It contains zinc, the maintenance crew that repairs any damage. Without them, mountains of bricks are just a useless pile of material. That is why one study showed that seniors who ate liver in moderation had collagen activity markers that were up to 143% higher. That number isn't magic. It's the result of giving your factory both the materials and the manpower. It's one of the most powerful weapons against arthritis and for restoring overall bone and joint health. The truth is now revealed. The problem was never the liver, but the dosage and the preparation. You don't need to eat it every day. Just a small, matchbox-sized portion, once a week, is enough to awaken your entire collagen factory. I learned to make a delicious, creamy, no-smell liver pâté. It is no longer a fear, but my precious weekly tonic. The improvement in my knee joint pain has been nothing short of unbelievable. And now, I want to ask you one final question in this trial. After hearing my defense, what are your feelings towards liver, right now? If you feel more open and are willing to give it a chance, please comment with the number 8. The number 8, a symbol of balance and new beginnings. If you still feel hesitant and need more time, please comment with the number 9. That's perfectly okay. All change takes time. Please let me know your thoughts. If liver was the elite engineering team that reawakened my collagen factory, then this final and greatest ally is the maestro. The one who doesn't just bring a single instrument, but brings the entire orchestra. The one who doesn't just repair a single part, but harmonizes everything together to create a symphony of healing. This is the ultimate treasure of my journey. The finest essence that nature and time can bestow upon our bone and joint health. I present to you bone broth. Why is it number one? Why does it stand above all the other allies? Because it doesn't contain just one thing. It contains everything. In this pot of broth that has been simmering for 18 hours, a magical dialogue is taking place. The bones, the cartilage, and the marrow are slowly giving up their finest essence. It releases not just type 1, 2, and 3 collagen, but also glucosamine and chondroitin, the very compounds that lubricate and rebuild the cartilage cushioning we have worn down over the years. To drink a cup of true bone broth is not to consume a single substance. It is to infuse your body with an entire ecosystem of regeneration. It is everything a screaming knee joint, a withered patch of skin, and a weakening blood vessel could ever need, all in one warm cup. The sign of a perfect bone broth? When you let it cool in the refrigerator, it must set into a thick, shimmering jelly. That jelly is pure gold. It is the proof that you have truly extracted the healing soul from the bones. But its greatest value to me isn't just in the nutrients. It's in the ritual. The ritual of starting a new day with a warm mug of bone broth. That feeling of warmth spreads from your chest, down to your stomach, and then weaves its way to every fingertip and toe. It feels like a hug from the inside. A gentle, comforting, and loving hug that you give to your own body. That warmth doesn't just soothe the joint pain. It soothes the cold anxieties that have settled in my soul. It reminds me that this body is a gift, and caring for it is a privilege. Our journey is almost at its end. I just want to ask you one final question. This entire story of mine, from the shattered jam jar to this mug of bone broth, has it warmed your heart at all? If it has, please help me by commenting with the number 10. The number 10, several completions, of a journey that has reached its destination. Every number 10 from you will be a great joy to me. Thank you for listening.